let's go over here. Change camera. Okay. Oh, all right, there you go. So yeah, I had like an okay night's sleep last night, but I still feel a little under the weather. I think it might actually be because of whatchamacallit, eating instant noodles. Not even a whole lot of it. Let's see. Yeah, I was gonna have hamburgers, so I just need to thaw out the hamburger meat. I say that I went live. But there's also a little mulch too. Yeah. Because I've been binge watching the game design course. And it's just like a little bit of a brain overload right now. Oh, great. Yeah. There we go. Gotta get rid of all of this. Yeah. A lot of frost burn on this thing. That's okay. Alright. Well, that should be enough time for people to pop in real quick. But yeah, got a lot of. See, technically, my next game's going to be a battle royale game, but the problem is, I want there to be like a kind of semi MMORPG type of feeling to it, simply because, you know, it'll be a nice way to have people do a different mode, still play the game, and then just be able to like pace themselves better while still like working towards some kind of long-term goal. So yeah, but of course that just dramatically increases the amount of work and balance. So that's something that I have to think about. Mortgage rates slipped below 3% again. Huh. Funny. Alright, let me just pull up the video first, and then I got a tweet that I went live. Because I'm not feeling so great. Like, I really don't like being sick. So, I mean, I didn't even do any exercise.
Okay, everybody, it is me, Craig.
I mean, I didn't even do any exercise today because I'm just, like, under the weather. I know, markets and crypto not doing much. Again. Man, I feel terrible. And then I'm also thinking about the artwork too. It's like, do I do good graphics from the start, or do I do them just super simple and stuff? Because again, that expectation thing is kind of a problem. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But I guess we'll see what happens. All right. So I tweeted that out. So I guess we'll go right into the stuff first. So bonds have sold off a little bit today. So cash is moving out of the debt market. Doesn't look anything too severe. Markets, yeah, it's like whatever. Nasdaq was flat. Crude oil's up a little bit. Silver is up a little, surprisingly. We already went over bonds. Bitcoin's down a little bit, which is, I don't know. Nothing bad yet, but if it does the same thing tomorrow, especially since Bitcoin does not hit 50,000, like Crypto.rs theorizes that it might, that could be a concern. But we're also going into the weekend, so I mean, usually crypto falls towards the end of the week anyway. So it's like, you do have those billions of dollars worth of options expiring as well. So I don't know. It's like, what's going on here? So Riot did all right. It actually went up, like surprisingly. Dollar is relatively flat. Bank of America is up an okay amount. ExxonMobil is down, so that probably means I'm going to lose my. I mean, it's not down much, but it's not doing anything. And then let's see, what is Tips doing? No, pretty much flat. It actually went down a little. Costco falls after reporting third quarter earnings. This could be a good sign because that might just make people go, hey, maybe inflation's not as bad as I thought it would be, kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not feeling so good. So I'm probably just gonna do this real quick, and then go, because I kind of just need to. Well, first I have to keep going through my course materials, try to relax, try to recover, and then just keep thinking about going forward what I'm going to be doing. So Litecoin, VeChain, okay. Is this correct? This has been going down a lot more than it's supposed to. Okay, so this is actually, so now I take back what I said. It's, now it's doing what I don't like doing, which is slowly go down. Like, Bitcoin and all altcoins are doing the same thing. Like, we just cannot catch an effing break here. We just can't catch an effing break. Okay, because there's a shit ton of money out there in the world. Where is it going? It's not in the stock markets. It's not in metals. It seems to be stuck in cash. But even 24-hour volume for Tether is still blank. And it's not going to crypto, obviously. So where the F is that money? Right? It does not just disappear. This is starting to get very annoying. Very annoying. It's like, I just want this thing to go up already. So stable coins, reserves on exchanges have gone down. Bitcoin has remained flat. So, okay. I don't know. I don't know the world of this GUSD thing. Like, because there's only like $20 million worth of GUSD in circulation. So it's obviously going to just have weird spikes like that. All right, so it's pretty obvious to me that everyone is actually holding cash. There's something that they're worried about or they're waiting on. Ah, lovely. All right, well, let's see what Greg has. Inflation is surging, indicators at 2-decade high with trillions in more debt coming. Yeah, Biden wants to do a $6 trillion debt package and then raise the capital gains tax on everything over $1 million, which will eventually be everything. Because it's not going to be $1 million. That's never how it works. To 43.4%. It's like like this is just ridiculous. They really are trying to just kill everybody economically. Thankfully, though, the Tribe First movement is dying after Robert Barnes just like completely had a complete collapse. So, yeah. Actually, I'm just curious. Did that stupid fuck block me? Clear. Oh, it would be Barnes. No, he did not, because if he would have blocked me, he would not show up here. But I also have not been trolling him, so. California Supreme Court grants review in Danny Masterson's suit. I don't know who that is. Blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. Alright, actually, we could probably take a look at what. I mean, Nick hasn't like took a break. Okay, so he actually tweeted a lot of shit. Oh man. Oh man, he tweeted a lot. Okay. Biden to propose $6 trillion debt. Yeah. Oh yeah, we mentioned that. Antifa has much more in common with ISIS than Islamic State in the sense that not is precisely an enemy of the U.S. government. Elements of the U.S. government use Antifa just like they use ISIS abroad to blah, blah, blah. Yes. AF trip to work today. My boss told me that he watches Nick Flynn and likes the merch. We are everywhere. Wow. Seriously? Holy shit. That's good. Nothing tonight. Next week, we're going to have Roosh V and Nick. Oh, wow. Isn't he, like, running for office? He looks like he's running for office. Well, hopefully he won't turn into, Cartergate. I think you can be anti-Israeli government without being anti-Semitic or anti to Jewish people. Well, there you go. Even Steve Crowder is finally, doing it. I mean, yeah, like Andre Wang said, the discussion about Israel in general, especially criticisms about Israel, is now starting to go mainstream. Because the left actually does not like Israel too much. Like the people on the left, that is. The establishment, like Democrats, of course they are always going to be pro-Israel, but not the people, especially the progressives. And you know how rabid the shit libs are, right? So, yeah. And then I actually looked at Hassan Abi's socials. Like he's been very a vocal critic of Israel, and he's got like millions of people watching that shit. So. What can I say? Womp womp, right? Oh yeah, I haven't seen Jacob Lloyd in like 11 trillion years. Patricide, Patrios, my one side is Patriot. Oh yeah, I saw that he before. He's got that's like a monster fish. What does Israel have to do with my homeland, my forefathers, or my countrymen? Nothing. Yeah, and my parents are from China, so Israel has nothing to do with that either. We are raising the consciousness, yes. I compiled each major poll done following the great debate between Nick and Barnes Law on America's foreign policy regarding Israel. Here's the total results combined by poll. Wizard predicts about over 18,000 votes, but the victor was extremely decisive. I'm actually going to retweet that. Keep in mind, Barnes, Viva, and Wiz all have major audience, which have all never been exposed to Nick, at least not directly, so Barnes should have been slightly favored at best, and the majority neutral. The Viva poll had 60,000 votes, however, half that were just for results, so I did not include them in the totals to skew the number. I only caught Barnes or Fuentes results. Don't let any loser and liar tell you this is a fringe dying movement. We've only just begun. Our turn. Oh, is it? Oh, what? Provoked. Oh, I was gonna say, is this like Lauren Witzke, but then it was a fangirl that put all that stuff on her? Alright. Holy shit, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Like, first of all, like, every time Barnes spoke, not only was he tone deaf, but there was no relevance to what he was saying. It's like, why do I care about anything that he's talking about? Like, how is this relevant to me? And I just wanted to go to sleep. In fact, when I was streaming it, I'm pretty sure I've constantly complained, like, yeah, this is boring. Like, what is he talking about? It's like, and he just kept spamming the word Islamofascism, and I'm just like, this is just so stupid. If this were like game design, like this is just Bards would just be like a really shitty video game, like really shitty. So yeah. But I mean, people don't have a choice either because we're the only ones that are actually trying to fucking do something, and more importantly, we're actually talking about the actual root causes of all our problems. And Barnes is just gonna I mean, he's already sold out, so eventually people will figure that out. Actually, let me see. Yeah, he hasn't really grown from that. People are fed up with the dual allegiance Israel first deceivers like Ben Shapiro. Our country's being destroyed. Whites are under attack, and these people couldn't care less. It has to be America first. Yeah, pretty much. Why is pro-Israel major generally being called anti-Semitic? Oh yeah. Okay. I can reply to this? Oh, that's because Emerson. Yeah. I'm just curious. I did watch most of Nick's show last night. He basically said Major Taylor Greene is John Cena and she doesn't even know it. And I immediately thought about Jesse Lee Peterson because he talks a lot about how people just can't help it because they don't know any better. So you can't hold it against them. Oh God, Caitlyn Jenner, or maybe okay, that's it. I'm just gonna hit the back button. If you're not America first, you're committing treason against our nation. Yeah. Let's effing go. Bashar al-Assad has been re-elected in Syria with 95.1% of the vote. Yeah. Well, Assad has been super cool to Christians, and that's why they want to get rid of him. YouTube just banned my song called HCQ for medical information. What? What? They gave me a shut my account for it. We don't have free speech anymore. This is China now. Well, what's funny is China actually has more free speech than America. Canadax working on YouTube. We were slaves. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, he just tweeted something. The U.S. no longer has any credibility to accuse other countries of holding rigged elections after 2020. Yeah, the CIA really blew their load after this one. It's also kind of like how the U.S. wants to try to accuse China or Hong Kong or Taiwan. Well, no, they're accusing Taiwan or other countries of not being free, right? There's no freedom. Well, obviously, there's no freedom in America, so yeah. I'm gonna probably retweet that actually. All right. Well, let's get to work because I really need a rest. You know what? I need to see. Okay, let's see if this time I can find out what they had for lunch. Man, they're getting so big. Like they should be able to fly on their own any week now. Okay, let's try and see if we could use the seek. Oh, here it is. It doesn't look like they're eating anything. I skipped over it. Man, very large. There you go. So they have their mouths open. So that's interesting. They actually know how to feed themselves now. What does the eagle do? Also, what do they have for food? Oh, he flew away pretty fast. All right, let's see. So inflation is surging. Fuck, maybe that's why the markets didn't really do too much today. And
Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Manarino. Yeah, still me. This is my post-market wrap-up on this Thursday, May 27, 2021. Yeah, I got my notepad here. And there was a few things on here that we got to talk about. Let's start off with, well, the basics here, which is the market. Stocks, for the most part, finished higher. However, it was relatively flat. I mean, the Dow put on a gain, the S&P 500 put on a gain, not anything magnificent. NASDAQ finished flat. Same thing for everything else. Gold and silver about flat. Cryptocurrencies about flat. 10-year yield stable. The financial sector, although as a whole, put on a decent gain. And a lot of that, people, was because of crude oil. I told you this morning to watch crude oil. Crude oil made a nice turnaround, put on like a full percentage point. It's now about $67 a barrel, going to 70 and higher, like I have explained to you. The mechanism here is it's a joke, and you know how this whole thing works. But I mean, nothing today. It was relatively flat pretty much across the board, despite the fact, yet again, that we keep getting hit with round after round after round of terrible economic news. And, you know, that actually bled off to later in the day. And this is the stuff you're not supposed to know about. But I'm gonna share this with you. Let's talk about pending home sales. Now, I love when they do this. Pending home sales unexpectedly plunged last month, missing the mark by like a mile. But you see, everything is great and we're booming. You know that, right? Yeah, you're not supposed to know that pending home sales is falling off of a cliff, despite the fact, yet again, that their prices are surging, skyrocketing. It's completely out of control. And that falls right into what I want to share with you right here. So we got information on inflation, indicators. Inflation indicators. Now, today, they are every single one of them is flashing red. As a matter of fact, they are at a 20-year high. But remember, this is just temporary. It's just temporary what you're seeing right now. How about what you're seeing right now is about to get monumentally worse, and that falls into the next segment I want to talk about. So we heard from, you know what, maybe I'll be nice right now, but it's very difficult. Treasury Secretary, former Fed chairperson, she's not a woman, it's a thing, Janet Yellen. Now, this is what she said today. Whatever that thing is calling for vastly increasing government spending. Exactly. Vastly increasing government spending. Now, what she won't tell you, especially being that she is a former Federal Reserve.
Yeah. Hey, American supremacists. Yeah, I mean, I should say I'm surprised, but I'm not. I mean, I already got the suspicion when I noticed two things. One, he unfollowed everyone, but more importantly, he unfollowed me. And number two, he had a huge sudden spike in followers. So, what does that indicate to me? One, he probably doesn't like true America Firsters like you and me, so he's got to unfollow. Because I've had people do that before, like especially people from Florida who are actually in the Florida local government, and a lot of them unfollowed me because I kept, retweeting the truth too much. So that's one, and then number two, well, why do you have a sudden spike in followers? Like, oh, because you're actually getting support from you know who. That's what always happens. All right, there's a reason why Nick's following luckily is going up, but isn't going up like crazy. Right? There's a reason why my following keeps going effing down. Censorship plus the fact that, I actually say what is real. All right? Because trust me, a lot of people that tend to follow me, or at least used to, are boomers. So they don't want to be listening, hearing shit like what I'm posting here. But that's also not the truth. So, I mean, something's going to give. Well, guess what? I'm just going to have to take it up the ass like I've always done. All right? I'll have more glory in heaven, but that's like, a long time away. Yeah, big snake. I mean, whatever the reason is, maybe more money, more fame. I don't know why, but I mean, at the end of the day, Barnes just sold us out, so there's not really much we can do about it. I think maybe the boomers are turning around because, actually, before we go back to that video, this is actually a really important tweet that this guy, Captain Goiper guy, put out. So Nick Fuentes was the clear winner, right? But here's the thing. We go over his thread here. Keep in mind, Barnes, Viva, and Wiz all have major audiences which have almost never been exposed to Nick Fuentes, at least not directly. So Barnes should have been slightly favored at best and the majority neutral. Actually, yeah, because I think, Election Wizard, Election Wizard followed me from during the Trump thing, right? And then I think through that, he probably decided to look at my follows, and then he digs through. He says, "Oh yeah, Michelle Malkin follows Johnson, and all these other powerful conservatives follow him." He's like, "Hey, who's this guy, Nick Fuentes?" So that's probably I think that's a contributing factor. So even though I'll never know it, at least I know I can feel confident that I at least contributed to the cause. And because I can't do much right now, but guess what? This guy can. All right, and I'm pretty sure he's not nearly as shadow banned as I am, because at least I don't see his followers getting deleted every day like mine are. So, so keep in mind, Barnes, Viva, and Wiz all have major audiences and have never been exposed to Nick, so Barnes should have been slightly favored at best, or at least neutral. Well, I mean, I would say Barnes should have been greatly favored, but the simple fact is, Barnes just got completely decimated. Right? His the fact that he's a trial lawyer and you gotta be kidding me. If he actually argues like that in court, it's no wonder that he doesn't win a lot of cases he should be winning, because he didn't do the Gary Spence thing, right? Stating a theme and then making everything related to the audience, right? Because really being a lawyer is about convincing people, right? Because let's say I was Barnes, right? And I would and I would obviously be up against Nick Fuentes, and then I would be like, okay, so it's pretty obvious that I need to make a connection between the safety of Israel is somehow connected to the benefit of actual Americans. At least I would have, the fact that Robert didn't even try to make that connection is completely this is totally justified why this thing went to shit. Right? And I made another tweet yesterday, which Nick liked. And all I said in that tweet was, if I were a struggling, starving American and I listened to last night's debate, I would be thinking about, how my life got screwed over by the lockdown, the economy, and then I forgot the other thing I mentioned. And then based on that, Nick Fuentes at least kind of hints at talking about and calling out the people responsible for that, while Barnes didn't even do that at all. So again, it just comes down to relevancy. Of course, and then what does Robert Barnes do? He just acts like a massive F word, and is just like an actual child, right? You know, because I thought about hiring Ron Coleman, right? And they're in the same circle, right? Because I have to actually worry about trademarks. Like that's a thing for me. Like I need a trademark lawyer. So, and I know I might have to go to court someday because people are gonna come after my ass. Because once they actually find out who I really am, and like I have a huge audience on my video games and shit, the elites are gonna want to take my ass out, and they're gonna like sue me for the dumbest of shit. So I need a good lawyer. I'm not gonna fucking hire Robert Barnes. Like, are you kidding me? After this shit, like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is just actually pathetic. Oh yeah, and then yeah, like this movement is literally just getting started. So, Shapiro went full loyalty to the Middle East interest after Matt Walsh said his thoughts. Oh yeah, I did see that clip, and only saw Islamo fascism 9,000 times. Yeah, well, the good news is if we can start chipping away, we gotta do to Con Inc. and the Tribal First Movement what the shit lives and big tech and deep state did to Trump supporters. We gotta go after the base, and before we go after the King Prize. So in this case, we can't go after Ben Shapiro directly, but we can chip away at all of his support structures. Robert Barnes, maybe Ron Coleman. Mike Cernovich is smart enough to stay out of it, so he's not a target. Eventually, we'll have to go after Jack Posobiec, right? Basically, all of these Con Inc. alt-light F-word grifter, F words. I really wish we had free speech, right? So if we could humiliate them, we as in really Nick Fuentes. If Nick and the movement can humiliate them, expose them, and just and start doing stuff like this, where people go, yeah, what the fuck's going on? Like, I want Trump, and then you keep spamming this shit about Islamofascism. Like, what are you doing? Like, at some point, people are going to be like, yeah, what is this crap? Why am I following you? And on top of that, who's this Nick Fuentes guy? He sounds exactly like what I always wanted in Trump. It's like, what's going on here? Yeah, oh yeah, TPUSA, Charlie Kirk, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, not just shame, but just, like, expose them and then convince people to stop supporting them and then eventually start supporting Nick Fuentes. I mean, what are they going to do? Put everybody on a fucking no-fly list? Right? I mean, as far as I know, even Alex Jones is not on a no-fly list. And you know how controversial he is, right? So that indicates to me that there's some sort of limit to what deep state can do. So that's a good thing. That means we need to exploit that before they get stronger and more powerful, right? Because obviously if Alex Jones was on a no-fly list, he would obviously tell everyone that, and then we're going to obviously try to rally to him, right? I mean, Nick Fuentes is not as big as Alex Jones yet, but, when he said he was on a no-fly list, I mean, we all fucking rallied to him. And thank God that actually happened, right? Alex Jones probably has buddies with jets on standby. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think so. Moon Knight. Oh, yeah, man. This better not be like some degenerate... Okay, it's not. It's just some comic thing. Okay. Marvel finally confirmed Oscar Isaac as the Moon Knight. So he... I bet the first thing they thought of was, this is like the Batman of Marvel. Alright. I don't know. I think the Dark Knight just sounds cooler.
Chair thing is we don't have the money. It's got to be created by the Federal Reserve. So if she gets her wish to vastly increase government spending, who's the government? It's the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve has got to create this cash miraculously, poof, just out of thin air. I told all of you a long time ago, years ago, that the Treasury and the Federal Reserve are tag teaming whatever's left of the United States of America to bring it to its knees. The nation and its citizens to its knees. And that's exactly what is happening here. You cannot.
Because here's the thing, I don't see the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury Department putting Nick on the no-fly list. That was actually the CIA and FBI. So, I think it's just like, I think Deep State consists of really a lot of these organizations, which of course would include the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury Department. There's a reason why both of them are poo-pooing on Bitcoin and crypto. Ah.
Possibly make this stuff up if you try to, people. But again, look, what else would you expect? Honestly, what else would you expect? It's astonishing to me, honestly, despite, again, the economic news across the board, which could not possibly be worse. You got the mainstream narrative as everything is great. We're booming. No, we're not booming. What did we lose? Another 406,000 people to first-time unemployment claims this morning. Durable goods orders, unexpectedly, of course, crater. They were expecting a gain, but we got a loss. And now we find out all this. Pending home sales, unexpectedly, plunge 4.4% in April. It's historic, as a matter of fact. But housing prices continue to rise. Whatever happened to supply and demand?
Yeah, I'm pretty well. Believe it or not, I bet Biden was probably just like, I want pepperoni pizza, and he signs off on it. But but what he was really signing was like, put Nick on the no-fly list, right? But Biden's marbles ain't there anymore, so he doesn't know any better, right? Because again, he's 100% a puppet, So he himself is not a threat. He's really just literally a distraction puppet. It's the people around him that are pulling his strings, which is literally everyone around them. They are doing all the bad, evil shit, probably. Alphabet and AGC are winning power like crazy now. Yeah. Well, the more they're flailing, the more they expose themselves. So again, it's a double-edged sword. Like, we're on the receiving end of it, and it hurts. But on the other hand, they're hurting themselves a lot too, because people are starting to wake up, right? If they weren't pushing this hard, they as in the deep state, right, and all these evil, pedophile, degenerate F words, Nick wouldn't be getting as much exposure as he is, right? I wouldn't be catching as much flack as my account would normally be getting, right? I mean, they only as far as even banning Gregory Mannarino for this shit, right? So it's really reaching. I mean, it's already reached critical mass, believe it or not. It's just a matter of how we're gonna deal with it. So, and it's only gonna get stronger and bigger, and eventually something's gonna break. Something's gonna break. Get him his pudding. Come on, man. Yeah. I want to get some more ice cream too. I could actually use some, what is it, glucose or sucrose in my brain.
Explain this to you. Supply and demand forces, they don't work either anymore. When you have a central bank, going back to the Fed, who's buying $40 billion per month of mortgage-backed securities, literally creating artificial demand, well, nothing makes sense anymore. When you have a central bank who really is the governing body of not just the United States, but of the entire world, you would expect to see exactly what we have today. So none of this at all should be a surprise to you. And and it transcends that too. I've made a lot of calls over the last X amount of years, which have proven to be correct for the most part. Now look, I am no smarter than you are or anybody else. I'm a guy who follows trends, who looks at what's happening and seeing where the trend is going, and then jumping in on that. Okay, now, with regard to where we are going from an economic standpoint, from a market standpoint, from a Federal Reserve standpoint, it's very simple. It's very simple for us to know and predict what's going to happen down the line here when we have a central bank running it all, doing everything they possibly can now with the help of Janet Yellen, calling for vastly increasing spending. to become the lender and buyer of last resort, creating not just the United States as a slave nation, but the world as a slave earth to the central banks. The central banks, people,
Maybe I need some of
I've
the
said this a
healthy
million
fruit
times,
comics.
they are public enemy, number one, bar none. They are the ones responsible for every single thing that you are seeing right now, everything. And they are in absolute, full, complete, 100% control. And their control, their stranglehold on the world is going to get a lot worse moving forward. We're way beyond the point of no return. Nothing can be done about it because we don't have representatives. Nobody, not the president, not the last president, not the president before that, not any member of Congress. It doesn't matter anymore. This is like a free-for-all, and it's literally every man and woman for themselves.
I
You
think he's
got to
exaggerating
get
a little
yourself
bit.
on the right spots. You got to disconnect yourself from the fakery, the propaganda, the distortions,
right
the
about that,
distractions, and get yourself on the right path. And that's really, again, what this is all about. Bringing things to your attention that you're not supposed to know. Directing your attention towards things that you're not supposed to look at so you can make a better decision for yourself as to what you should be doing here. And it's just very simple. And what I love most about this is I've outlined what you should be doing for years. I've never deviated from that strategy. Never once. And it works, and it will continue to work. Again, they're going to play their game. They're going to inflate, and then inflate some more. So we need to, again, be taking the opposite side of that trade while at the same time capitalizing on what they are doing. You understand? You can do nothing in this world, or you can act. I always tell you, act. And more importantly, even than that, is raise your awareness. Look around you. Understand what they're doing. The distractions, the manipulation, the rigging, all of it.
Yeah, the Wuhan lab virus thing, perfect example. And I remember I used to actually say, yeah, like long ago, and I tweeted about it, that the Wuhan lab thing might actually be a real thing. And it was not the, Chinese weird animal wet market thing. And I was more convinced it was that because Twitter and Facebook and YouTube were banning everyone for that. Now all of a sudden you're allowed to spam it all over the place. And in fact, all the bad, evil, fake news terrorist people are now spamming the same thing too. So A, now I know that's probably not true, and then B, there's something off about this, And on top of that, it's weird too, because it's even, I think the Democrats, or some of them, are kind of pursuing that. And then maybe, it's so confusing. Like, it's clearly a psyop now at this point. So, I don't know. But the good news is at least it seems to damage Bill Gates a lot. So at least that kind of, puts a little pressure off of us.
It's so evident to me. Anyway, that's really where we are. Going back to the market, a nothing day. Everything was pretty much flat today. Everything. Cryptos, gold, silver, the markets, the 10-year yield. Crude oil did catch a nice bid here today. And crude, mark my words here, people, it's going much higher. And if it happens to fall into some pressure, there will be a false flag event associated with it. And I know you get that. That just explains to you, it should show you how twisted this whole thing really is. All right, look, so with that said, important video, lots of important information here. Please share this video. Please give me a thumbs up down here somewhere if you like this video. I would really appreciate that. And I will see all of you in the morning. We have a long weekend, by the way. Monday, the market's closed, which means I will not be doing a video Monday. But I will be on live with Alex Jones. So I hope all of you who follow Alex and follow me will catch that. I guarantee you It's going to be epic. All right, I'm out of here. See you in the morning.
Well, Nick Fuentes is ever like president. He should definitely appoint Greg Manarino like Fed chairman or something. So. Yeah, I think those are the carcasses of. Yeah, I see flies eating whatever the. Jeez. I can only imagine how much germs and bacteria and viruses and all this stuff. Wow, really? Is that a dog? I don't think it's a wolf. But I've never seen a dog actually eat fish. Then you got like a bird here. I just want to see a bear catch a fish with his teeth. What's also interesting is, doesn't a bear want to eat the goose? Huh. I don't know. I always find these animal things. Oh, they actually saved my little thing here. Well, that's convenient. When I'm feeling better, I could probably do that video. All right. So inflation's going up. Maybe that's weighing on people, and then I don't know. That did not look like a baby bear to me. He looked pretty big. Get him his pudding. Come on, man. Yeah. Wolf has to be. Really? It didn't look like a wolf. It really looked like a dog. AMC passes 12 billion market cap. Redditor asks if it can go to the moon. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Some of that missing $1 trillion from the cryptocurrency markets going into AMC and GameStop. And apparently a couple other stocks. This is just a little dizzying. Well, I guess Base Hollander should be pretty happy. This thing has gone up 4 cents. But yeah. Hopefully crude oil will hit like $100 a barrel. The ExxonMobil hopefully will go up in price. And then I can finally dump that piece of shit stock. I think I'll probably actually just take out. I think I might actually just take out the cash. Use it for my spending money to buy me a few more months. And then of course we got Bank of America, so that'll supplement me for a few months as well. Pudding boy Biden said they're printing $6 trillion more. Accelerationists love Biden. Yeah, I don't know. That's just such an obscene amount of money. Like, I don't know if anyone's gonna actually believe this. It's just too much. I don't know, but I actually expect them to be kind of arguing. So if I had to really guess, they'll probably settle somewhere around 3 trillion, 2.5 to 3 trillion. The thing is, I forgot how big was the budget last time. So it's got to be bigger than that number, but not by much. So add like 500 to 1,000 billion. So half a trillion to 1 trillion extra. That's likely going to be the real budget or whatever the hell this shit's called. So yeah. All right. Anyway, like I said, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I'm just gonna go for now. Everything looks pretty stable. I'm definitely keeping my eye on crypto. I don't like. Okay. So I'm definitely seeing a little bit dipping and then a little bit of going up. So I don't know what's going on here. At least the global market cap is increasing, but we still have like, let's see, $800 billion missing. Because I don't know where that is. It's not in the stock markets, it's not in precious metals, and it's not in crypto, obviously. I guess it's in stable coins still, so which would mean it's still in the dollar. which I think might be the case because money left the debt market today and the dollar didn't go up that much. So, in fact, it went down 4 cents. So that probably means the rich are just hoarding cash right now. They're getting ready for some kind of move. So they just want cash. But I guess we'll have to just wait and see. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow. Today feels like a Friday, but I think maybe it's just because I'm just working so hard, learning and growing. I haven't even done any coding yesterday or today. That's because I was working on the game design stuff. Because I just want to get that out of the way and then let it sit in my brain for a bit and then go back to coding. But yeah. Ultimate Warrior. Oh, hey, cheers. Oh, so someone actually does watch the YouTube. Yeah, I've started doing dual streaming, so hopefully people find that actually useful. Because I looked at the Cryptos R Us guy, and he's actually streaming and recording all the time. And then he's got like, how many followers does he have now? He's got like 11. He's got like 6 million followers on his YouTube channel. Yeah, 355. He's gained over 4,000 subscribers within like. In literally one day. So now I'm gonna do the same thing. Though it's really just gonna be like one video a week and 5 live streams a week usually. Yeah, anyway. So that's a skinny. If you're gonna buy crypto, I guess you can do a little bit now. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens with tomorrow. But yeah, the rich are getting ready for something big. You know, because you only hoard cash for one reason. Right? It's because you're getting ready to buy a lot of something. So I'm hoping that something is going to be both stocks and crypto. So maybe tomorrow it'll be it. Yep. All right. All right. Now I'm gone for real. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and see you all tomorrow after the markets close, as usual.